It's time to open our eyes to a bright and promising future. We'll rise to the call of the times and create a stronger tomorrow.
Let's start to make a difference, teaching everyone to learn. Through science, health, and technology, we will share our expertise. By promoting knowledge and policies, we can build a better world. Let us take a stand for our visions of hope, bringing future west for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and green. Hear us sing, building the future is our legacy. We'll achieve our goals through partnership, creating opportunities. By working hand in hand, we can accomplish all our dreams. For a better quality of life is now within our reach. Let us take a stand for our visions of hope, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and green. Hear us sing, building the future is our legacy. Let us take a stand for our visions of hope, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and green. Hear us sing, building the future is our legacy. Building the future is our legacy.
To inform you that the event today is conducted with collaboration, a very close collaboration with STIKIS, Step in Science. So I think the topic today is an intersection between education and also science education, early childhood education and science education. So the topic discussed for today's workshop is about STEM in early childhood education and basic education. I think when it comes to STEM discourse in Indonesia, we have two competing, contradictory, dominant discourses. The first discourses tends to fall into the trap of academification of early childhood education and also basic education, where they push the teaching of science, mathematics, and also literacy without taking into account children's development. But the other discourse, in my opinion, is also problematic because the discourse is very often rooted on the deficit model of children and childhood, where they believe that young children are unable to learn complex things such as STEM. So I think in today's workshop, we'll be able to learn how to negotiate the teaching of STEM in early childhood and also in basic education, because I think it is we all know that one of the main roles of early childhood education is to prepare young children to enter primary education. So I think we really need to find a strategic way and also the correct way. Perhaps, if I may say, I don't really like the word correct, but if I may use the word for the sake of opening ceremony, if we can find the strategic and also the correct ways of how to teach young children in early childhood education and also in basic, in primary education, so that they'll be able to learn science, mathematics, and also literacy, but at the same time, the teaching is also conducted by respecting their developmental stages. So once again, I would like to express my highest gratitude to Dr. Zuhe and also Dr. I suddenly forget the name. Sorry, it happens to me quite a lot. The deputy director, the director from Siam, from SIKIS, for their collaboration and also for working together so that we can implement today's workshop. My highest gratitude also goes to all the participants. We have all the teachers here from early childhood education and also from primary education, and we also have students from bachelor degree and also postgraduate degree, and I think later on they will be joining with us also some lectures from universities in the city. So thank you very much for all the participants who's making their way to our center. I know our center is quite far from Bandung, especially during the weekend. Sometimes the traffic is quite overwhelming. So thank you very much for coming to our center. And last but not the least, of course, I would like to extend my appreciation also to the committee who have worked so hard to make sure that the workshop can be implemented. But I think this event will not be happening if not because of the generosity from Professor Gilman and also Dr. Hazel, who is willing to travel all the way from Monash to Bandung and to share their knowledge and wisdom with us. So big applause for Professor Gilman and also Dr. Hazel. So I'm sure the audience does not want to hear more from me. They are not here for me. I'm sure they're here for you. So I think with this, I would like to officially open the workshop by reciting Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today's event will be commenced. So once again, thank you very much for traveling all the way.
Thank you for your thank you for your speech, Professor Vina Adriani. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue to the main session. I would like to invite Miss Fatima Rahma as a moderator for today's session. So Miss Fatima, the floor is yours.
Good morning. It's okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oh, I forgot that there's an open participant there. Assalamualaikum, everyone. A very good morning, all honorable participants, both online and offline. Welcome to the open lecture STEM for early childhood education and early childhood and basic education. My name is Fatima Rahma, and it is an honor for me to be moderating the session. So before we start, I'd like to introduce Professor Gillian and also Dr. Hazel. Before we start, I'd like to introduce you first to all our participants. So before we proceed this lecture today, Professor Gillian Kidman and Dr. Hazel is a lecturer from Monash University. She is flight from Melbourne to here to Bandung. Welcome to Lembang, Professor. I believe this is your first time here. Yeah. So before we start, I'd like to inform all of you that there's a few housekeeping notes before today's workshop start for online participants who joined from Zoom and also joined from YouTube. If you have any questions during the session, please drop your questions to the message or the Q&A box on your Zoom on YouTube. So we will go through to that message during the session. So for all of you who are present here, please take notes if you have any questions, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of the session. So if you have questions, please be patient because we will have a Q&A session at the end of the session. So before we start, I'd like to introduce both Professor Julian and also Dr. Hazel. Both Professor Julian and Dr. Hazel are my lecturer when I was student in Monash University back in Melbourne. So I'm very pleasure, and it's very excellent that I have my lecture here today in my workplace. So Professor Julian is passionate about science and mathematics education. Her teaching and curriculum design in inquiry-based learning and teaching in science is award-winning. So we all know that Professor Julian is an expert in STEM. She also worked closely with Senior Exam, I believe, in Malaysia. So this is very first time you are here work with Samuel Chechap and CK. So I hope we can continue this work together. Yeah. So her research interest in science and mathematics, particularly interest in inquiry form of teaching and learning and potential inquiry, has in terms of the integration of science and mathematics. And she is currently working on the interpretation of inquiry and STEM makerspace in the term of disciplinary thinking. Thank you, Professor Julian, to make time here in Lembang. And Dr. Hazel is also a senior lecturer in Faculty of Education as well. She is a senior, just to say that she is a senior lecturer at the School of Curriculum, Teaching and Inclusive Education at Faculty of Education, Monash University. And her research area is in the teaching and secondary mathematics, especially in STEM education. And her research area is teaching and learning, STEM education, gender in STEM, interdisciplinary education as well. So I think without further ado, I'd like to invite Professor Julian and also Dr. Hazel to have the floor. Please, the time is yours.
Terima kasih and selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
I'm sorry, no more Bahasa Indonesia from me. Oh, maybe a little bit. Thank you very much for coming today and for the invitations that have been extended to us. It's a really great honor for us to be here today, especially today on Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day. Thank you very much for coming today and for the invitations that have been extended to us. It's a really great honor for us to be here today, especially today on Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day. Thank you very much for coming today and for the invitations that have been extended to us. It's a really great honor for us to be here today, especially today on Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day. Thank you very much for coming today and for the invitations that have been extended to us. It's a really great honor for us to be here today, especially today on Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day. Thank you very much for coming today and for the invitations that have been extended to us. It's a really great honor for us to be here today, especially today on Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day. Thank you very much for coming today.
Wow. This reminds me of this. No, I think it's because of the mountains around Bandung, right? So it goes all around, many times.
I think it's just an amazing event.
Very sorry for that, Professor Julian.
I think it's funny. It's STEM. Wow. It's Teachers' Day. Anything can happen.
So how do you say Happy Teachers Day? What? Selamat Hari Guru.
Happy Guru.
National-
Yeah.
National.
Wow. That was an interesting start to the day. Hopefully we don't repeat ourselves too often. Yes, we've come from Melbourne. It took us a long time to get here. I'm wondering who else has travelled a long time to come here? 2 hours? 2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay. Who else is 2 hours?
Drive?
3 hours? 1 hour? 1.
1 hour.
1, 2, 3, 4,
3 hours?
7.
7.
7,
Wow.
Anton. We are truly honoured, my friend.
Yes.
Anyone?
Just went without flight, Melbourne to here.
Yeah, same. We
Same.
also had 1 hour flight from Melbourne to Sydney. And then we had airport stays and yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Wow. So I'm honoured. Can I have a wave from the early years teachers? Who is early years? Early childhood? Early childhood? Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Lower elementary. Elementary, lower elementary.
Okay.
Good. Upper
Yeah.
elementary.
Upper as well.
Excellent.
We can
Upper
teach,
elementary,
yeah,
good.
Okay, yeah.
Do we have any lower secondary?
Junior.
No.
Yeah.
Anyone from a university?
Oh,
Welcome.
Okay. Welcome.
Do we have pre-service teachers?
From the university.
Ah, okay. What kind of teacher will you be? Early childhood, elementary, early childhood.
Early childhood.
Okay. Oh, that's a lot of differentiation, but we can do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
So long as we don't have volcano echo. All right. We're going to do a couple of activities today or this morning, and we've aimed them or designed them to be elementary in the lower area and early childhood. But you can differentiate and take it through even to secondary if you want, because it's the ideas that we're looking at, not the actual task itself. And that is STEM. Looking for the stimulation, but looking at how can we use it? What is the importance? So let's just have a quick look.
Your point over there. Yeah. Oh, then, oops.
Whoops, have I gone too far? Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to have a look at STEAM. I like STEAM. It's good for my skin. Okay. But for me, STEM is science, and technology, engineering, and mathematics, close to my heart. I'm a scientist. I love STEM. But when I look at myself, I'm here on a stage, in a room, in a building, in a community. So I've got the outside world. I've got everything else. And so my passion and my love for STEM has to be recognised as STEAM, with everything else, all the other stuff that goes with it. So we'll be looking at STEAM so that we can get our love for the STEM out there and accepted more widely. We're going to do some coding. You like robots? Coding? Good. I hoped you would. And then we're going to do some design thinking in STEAM. 2 simple activities that you can do with a small child or a big child, with a little bit of differentiation. We have Q&A at any time. I know you've been asked to put questions into the YouTube chat. That's fine. You can do that. But if you do want to have a question, please ask. Otherwise, you forget if you're like me, because I always forget. Okay, let's have a look at STEM thinking. This is what I like. Oh, and hello, everybody online.
Yep.
Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, we can see some people online
Oh, we can. Yes.
on the screen. Wow, that's a long echo through the online.
That is another echo. These volcanoes, they're going to do my head in.
Okay, well, we
All
have
right.
got a lot
Well,
of people.
what have I done?
Oh, no,
We
no,
want
yeah.
this one. Yes.
Yes.
So STEM. We know, we'll ignore them. We know that STEM is science. Yeah. We know STEM is mathematics. We know it's technology. But a lot of people think that we also have to have a subject called engineering. But you don't. Engineering,
The pointer that side.
no,
Oh,
engineering
okay,
here
sorry.
isn't a subject, not in Australian schools, but it's the type of activity that we do. And importantly, it's the type of thinking. And so this is why we've got it up here at the top, STEM thinking. So we want you to remember that. We're looking at thinking, not at a subject. So a school cannot say, oh, we can't do STEM, we don't have engineering. A school is full of thinking children, thinking teachers, STEM thinking. You just have to find it. What does it look like? No, we go this way. Maybe. Please. Next slide. There we go. Have a look here in the middle. This is where STEM thinking is. And what we want to do is take it all along this journey and put it into any classroom. So we've got any subject there. We could have STEM in religion studies. We can have STEM in social studies. We can have STEM in mathematics. There's an interesting one. The way we do it with our work is that we think of a scenario. We think of a story, a challenge, a problem, an issue. Something that is going to be meaningful to, whoops, wrong way. We're going too fast. Something that is meaningful to the child. Not to me, the teacher, not to you, but to the children in your class. So if your children love dinosaurs and they love volcanoes because they live in a volcano, yeah, them, then you should be using dinosaurs and volcanoes in your teaching because you will get that interest from the child. So what we would be doing is in whatever we're teaching, having a dinosaur or a volcano topic and trying to teach some STEM thinking in it. It's different, it's new, but children in Australia and children in Malaysia from our previous work with Simeo Rexam absolutely love it. They enjoy it. So it's the thinking. It's the skills of thinking about science, following that procedure to do an experiment, being very systematic. The technologies of using ICT, the technologies of just using a simple piece of paper. What is this called? Can you put it on your glass? Does it have a name? Glass cap?
Glass cap? Oh,
We don't have these in Australia, so we don't know what they're called. It's a glass cap.
yeah.
It could also be my hat. It's a product, it's an item.
Hmm.
But using my STEM imagination, I give it a new job.
What about coaster?
Oh, a coaster. Do you know a coaster? You put your glass on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glass coaster.
That is STEM. It's creativity. Taking something and changing it using our imagination. But make it culturally relevant. So we're looking for Indonesian examples, not from America. And that's what we tell our pre-service teachers, teachers of tomorrow. Use your imagination, not taking it from a textbook from another country, because that's not culturally relevant for your children. Okay. Next slide, please. Aha. So, questions. So, that's the lecture. Lecture's gone. I don't like lectures. Lectures in STEM, not very much fun for me. Do you have any initial questions on what STEM and STEAM might be? Something that you really hope that you will have answered today?
Online participant as well, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop your question and a message. Using Indonesian is also okay. We'll help you to translate that.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please.
It's okay.
Ya, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sebelumnya perkenalkan, Teteh izin pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Oh, boleh, Ma'am.
Ya, saya Nur Fitria Ramadhani dari Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. Di sini saya mau izin bertanya. Tadi kan sempat disinggung oleh Ibu kalau misalkan kita belajar itu jangan terus tentang buku, tapi harus bisa berimajinasi, mengekspresikan imajinasi gitu ya. Nah, bagaimana cara kita tuh bisa menstimulus anak atau saat kita di pembelajaran gitu ya, supaya imajinasi itu bisa dikembangkan gitu dari imajinasi anak terus ke pembelajaran gitu. Bagaimana tips dan triknya mungkin atau step-stepnya? Terima kasih.
Sama-sama. Okay, so she is one of student in university who are becoming a teacher, and her question is how to stimulate children in the learning process and using the students' imagination in the learning process and into practice on the learning activity at school. How we facilitate that kind of imagination to the practice and stimulate the children to using that imagination in the classroom activities.
Wow, that is a very amazing question. Would you like to be my co-teacher today? It wasn't. Please.
The monkey is excited.
Microphone wants to be a co-teacher as well.
I believe that.
That might be safer. Okay. The two activities we are going to do today will answer your question. So you have a choice. You can be the student, or you can come with me and be my teaching assistant so that you can see for yourself how to develop those skills. Do you want to?
Gimana tadi? Ya dengerin. Oh, can you mau bantuin beliau untuk jadi assistant teacher hari ini supaya bisa mengaplikasikan itu nantinya gitu. Oh, she is say yes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for being my teacher assistant. Okay, so what we're going to do, what time is it? How long have we been sitting? 9:20. We've been here maybe 1 hour. You've been sitting for 1 hour. It's too long. It's not healthy. So we're going to do an activity. Okay. Are you excited?
Yes, okay, I will help her.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is an activity, if we can.
Yeah, it's
Aha.
electronic.
Oh, back one.
Then it's voice activated. Next, please.
Okay, I'll put that one down. Okay, so we're going to do an activity about coding. Now, the children in your class, they might think coding, what is coding? Or they might go, robots, we're going to do robots. You like robots? So we're trying to get them excited. So it's my body language and the tone of my voice. Robots, yeah? Good class. Thank you. Thank you for helping. Okay. In your classroom, do you have this robot to code? No? I don't either. Me, no. Okay. Next slide, please. Do you have this robot? A Lego. Yes. But does your Lego become motorized? Is it a Lego robot? No. I don't have any robots either. Next slide, please. But I do have robot Hazel. Hazel is looking a little bit concerned. She thinks, what on earth is Gil going to do to me now? Can you see I'm trying to get the children, the students excited? If they're excited, they are open to my crazy ideas. Would you like to translate that if possible?
So, jadi basically Professor Jillian said that untuk menarik minat anak-anak buat kelas itu merasa excited gitu ya, dan menerima hal-hal yang mungkin menginspirasi mereka gitu ya, pikiran-pikiran, imajinasi melalui excitement atau meningkatkan rasa ingin tahu, rasa menyenangkan kelas gitu, seperti yang tadi Professor Jillian lakukan.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now, the instructions. Please listen carefully. They're excited, but they know they have to listen. Okay, I want you to work in threes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 people.
Bikin kelompok dari 3 orang.
Okay.
Setiap.
Now, have a group of 3 in a minute. Okay, they're excited. They want to know about them, not about you. Be calm, robot, be calm. Okay. So when you work in threes, we have a different task for each person. For this gentleman, you are the coder. You do the coding. Hardest job. Okay. You, sir, are going to be the observer. You have to keep the rules. Madame, you are the robot. Okay, so you're working in threes and each person has a particular role. What we're doing is making the instructions very clear through an example. And with the children, I would then ask a couple of times, what is your role, Ruth? Are you a coder, observer? Observer. So we know the children are understanding. Do you want to translate?
Okay, so jadi tadi di 3 orang tadi itu ada yang jadi yang kodernya, begitu ya, membuat kode. Kemudian ada observernya, dan nanti ada yang robotnya, begitu ya. Setiap orang nanti akan punya masing-masing peran. Nanti akan Profesor Jillian tanya masing-masing perannya apa, gitu.
Okay, good. So we're all excited again. We're understanding. This is what we're going to do. I will illustrate. I will show you with Robot Hazel. Behave. Oh. Okay. She's got her batteries in now. Wind her up. I give a task to Robot Hazel. Please don't walk off the edge, okay? Safety, safety. Hazel, can you just start over in this corner? Thank you. Instructions and language must be very, very clear. It's coding. Naughty robot. Robot Hazel, please take 2 small steps forward. 1, 2. Robot Hazel, please take 2 steps to the left. 1, 2. You are all being the observers. I am coding. Hazel is the robot. You are the observer, making sure that Hazel is 1, 2, counting. We could also do skip counting. Let's do skip counting for the next one. Hazel, naughty robot. Please take 2 steps backwards, but before you do, Hazel and the observers need to skip count in 2s. Oh, now we're getting the mathematics coming in here. A little bit harder. Skip count. Okay, we can go 1. Is 1, 2 skip count? 1, 3. The robot has to think about taking 2 steps backwards and skip counting. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Doing a little bit of mathematics there. Makes it a little bit harder, especially if you're tired. Okay, normal counting. Robot Hazel, take 2 steps to the right. Thank you. 2. Okay. What shape did Robot Hazel make on the floor?
Bentuk apa tadi yang dibuat?
Oh, a square. Okay. So now we're looking at geometry and coding and skip counting and multitasking mentally. I'm going to make it even harder for Robot Hazel now. Robot Hazel, behave. Robot Hazel, please take 2 steps forward. Robot Hazel, please rotate to the left 90 degrees.
To the left.
Oh.
Okay. Still, and okay.
Robot Hazel got very smart. Maybe Robot Hazel has artificial intelligence. Hazel wasn't sure of 90 degrees, so she asked the observer to help. She knew she had to turn, but didn't know when to stop. So she understood the task, didn't understand the mathematics, but now she does. I bet she does. Okay, Robot Hazel, please step forward 2 steps.
1, 2.
Very good. Robot Hazel, please rotate 90 degrees to the left.
We are not going to tell.
They're not allowed to tell you. You're supposed to learn. Oh, maybe you have to code her to come back because she's gone more than 90. Come back to this corner, please, Robot Hazel.
Oh.
Well, hey, what is it? What is the word? It's not Salah. It's not wrong. We just making sure she understands turning 90 degrees. So we'll start again here. Robot Hazel, please rotate 90 degrees to the left. Stop. So the observer can help her. Okay, let's see if she gets it right the next time. Robot Hazel, please go forward 2 steps.
1, 2.
Good. Robot Hazel, please rotate to the left 90 degrees. See if she gets it right. We have learning. With the coding, the instructions have to be exact. Don't just say, turn to the left. Hello. I'm getting very dizzy. Please help.
Stop.
Thank you. You have to be exact with coding. It's full of mathematics. But you can learn your left, your right. You can learn geometry, angles, shape. Can anybody tell me what the perimeter is of the square that we were calculating or walking? What would be the perimeter of that square? Do you know the word perimeter? The outside measure? 1,
Keliling.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in grade 4 and grade 5 in Australia, we learn about area perimeter. 2 times 2 is the area, but the 2 plus 2 plus... Oh, Robot Hazel, you can rotate 180 degrees, please. Thank you. We'll take her batteries out so she can relax. So this is the activity. This is the task. I want you to make a triangle. Oh, square is too easy. You know the answer for square now. So you will be coding your robot to make a triangle. Now, we have the space in the foyer, space over here. Watch the camera so we don't scare our online friends. Space over there. You will need some space in your classroom to move. You could take your children outside, but it's wet. Where's my teacher? There's my teacher. We will be coming around and having a look at what you're doing, and we will be analysing the learning that you are creating. And at the end of our activity, we'll share our analysis and you will share your learning as well. So 3s, coder, robot, observer. Remember safety so we don't fall over. Do you want to? For those online, if you have someone there, please turn them into a robot. Watch out for safety. And if you don't have someone there, perhaps you can be writing down the code for creating a rectangle. We will have rectangles online and triangles in the room here.
So write down the steps.
Write down the steps. What would you be telling the robot if you're online? Okay. Everyone can hop up now with your partners, find a space, and do some coding.
Ya, silakan Bapak dan Ibu membuat 3 kelompok untuk membuat kodeng tadi dengan membuat segitiga. Gitu. Untuk Bapak Ibu yang online, silakan untuk membuat persegi panjang. Silahkan tuliskan langkah-langkahnya dalam bentuk kode di secara kertas menggunakan persegi panjang.
Okay. So when we want you to come back to the group, we'll just ring the bell. Then you know it's not the ice cream man. Is it? Do y'all have the ice cream man?
How many triangles did we make? How many triangles? Who was being coded for a triangle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Many. Good. We all understand triangles. Very simple geometry lesson. Okay? Simple STEM, coding. Okay. My teacher and I, we were walking around and we were looking and we were noticing. Do you want to translate as we go?
Sure.
Make it easier. Yeah. We made many observations. One observation was from some ladies over in that direction. We noticed that they were writing down their code in their book.
Ya, jadi yang di kelompok sebelah sana begitu ya, Profesor Julian melihat ada kelompok yang menuliskan atau menggambarkan kode-kode tersebut.
If you put all of those notes, the instructions, write them down, one underneath the other, you have a computer code.
Ketika semuanya dituliskan dalam langkah demi langkah, step by step begitu ya penulisannya, itu bisa menjadi sebuah instruksi yang dikodekan begitu ya, dikomputerisasikan. Masya Allah ya.
Real life coding. The group next door was challenging their memory, their mental understanding, because they were memorizing the codes as they went. Different skill, same outcome.
Ya, kalau misalkan tidak dituliskan begitu ya, berarti kan hanya mengandalkan ingatan saja begitu. Tapi ketika dituliskan begitu, itu akan menjadi sebuah memori, ada langkah-langkah yang tercatat. Meskipun itu sama, tapi bisa jadi nanti hasilnya berbeda.
We noticed in another group when they were coding, giving instruction, they were looking at the floor. They were looking down. Who else looked down? Who look?
Ada yang melihat ke bawah saat melangkah ketika dikasih instruksi?
Yeah. That's your imagination. You are imagining seeing the triangle.
Mengimajinasikan melihat segitiga begitu ya ketika melangkah. You please put your mic so they're online and you hear clearly.
Sorry. Okay, now I'll use the microphone. Sorry, online. What we've been saying is some of our groups were writing down their codes like they were making a computer code. Other groups were doing it from memory. Different skill, same outcome. Now we had groups who were imagining a drawing of a triangle on the floor. And so they were walking the triangle. I was talking with one group how they might make it easier if they didn't have a child in the classroom who could do that imagining. And they decided, well, we could actually draw the triangle on the floor or put markers to the triangle. Hazel is saying that you've got tiles on the floor, lines on the floor. Use those as a guide. Or even here on the carpet, we have lines made. We can use that. But it's the differentiation of the task. Write it down, imagine it. Imagine the viewing of the drawing, or you make the drawing.
Ya, jadi ada beberapa tadi yang dilakukan begitu ya, ada yang menuliskan langkah-langkahnya dalam kertas, ada yang juga melakukan sebuah imajinasi dalam bayangannya, atau mungkin menggunakan alat bantu seperti lantai gitu ya, tehel gitu ya, mengikuti garis-garis yang ada di tehel gitu ketika mengerjakan tugas. Meskipun melakukan hal itu dengan berbeda-beda, tapi outcome-nya tetap sama. Begitu.
Now, do you have an activity in the physical education or the sports called orienteering? Do you know orienteering?
Adakah yang tahu tentang orientasi? Penggunaan orientasi ketika mungkin belajar olahraga gitu, kegiatan olahraga?
That could be an extension to this activity, where the teacher gives the students the long list of codes, and they have to understand what the clue is, what the code is, and go.
Kalau misalnya menggunakan langkah-langkah yang panjang itu secara jelas begitu ya, kemudian diberikan kepada anaknya sehingga anaknya mengikuti langkah-langkah tersebut.
And then I found one group who I gave them a challenge.
Okay.
Oh, they have morning tea. In this challenge, my friend, what is your name?
Jeffrey.
What Jeffrey has done is hidden 2 pieces of treasure in this room, 2 items, and he's going to code his robot to find them. So we're going to watch. You can speak in Bahasa,
Yes. Okay.
but this is the same task that we've been doing, but the instructions have to be so clear or the robot might walk over the top of you. So this is a test of Jeffrey's instructions and the robot following the instructions. So can we have the robot?
Yes. Robotku.
Jeffrey, can you just give the instructions very clearly, one by one, to your robot to find one of your pieces of treasure?
Okay. I'll try my best. Mau dari mana robot? Oke. Diem. 2 langkah ke depan. Ke depan. Agak nakal ya. Aduh, kayak PBBAB ya. Hadap kiri. 90 derajat ke kiri. Nah, kelebihan semua 90 derajat deh ke sana. 90. Kok robotnya ngelawan sih? I said yeah, a bit complaining the robot. Don't complain, just follow. 8 step forward, 8 langkah ke depan. Nabrak dah tuh.
Oh, 8. 1, 2, 3.
Stop pula, stop. Kamu sih miring, perasaan tadi lurus deh. Restart ya, dari sini aja dah restart.
We have to check our program.
Ya, there is a
Okay?
bug ya.
We know what we want to do, but are we actually doing it? Very
Okay,
clear instructions, Jeffrey.
okay, I'll try. 3 steps ahead, 3 langkah ke depan. Yang lurus ya, lurus deh, lurus. Enggak lurus. 3 langkah ke depan. Can I change the robot? Oke, kelebihan nggak apa-apa dah. Hadap kiri 90 derajat. Gerak. Lurus nggak? Maju 5 langkah. Tuh. 2. Tet. 1 langkah ke kiri. Jalan. Masih nabrak ya. 1 langkah ke kiri lagi deh. Nah. Maju 5 langkah. Hadap kanan 90 derajat. Nah. Maju 1 langkah. Jongkok. Susah. Saya bawain ya.
Oh,
Okay, so
she has now found the treasure.
yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
very good. We have success. What Jeffrey needed to do was get an understanding in his mind of where he wanted the robot to go and how to get the robot there. We had a correction here. Otherwise, she would have hit the table. Come to 5, sideways 2, go for 5. It's not an error. It's a correction. And it comes from understanding the task. Another coder might have just had 8 steps come straight. But Jeffrey had greater learning because he corrected. He saw that there was failure and he changed it to get success. That is STEM. Seeing the failure, changing, and having success. Well done. And where's your robot? Thank you so much. And I do like your treasure. Another use for our cup top. Okay, Hazel, do you want to do some coding?
No, actually, I sort of wanted to add about this because I think, one thing you notice is that everybody has a different triangle. Is it? Yeah. So, as teachers, I think we have to be prepared and expect different answers. It's not just a one answer question kind of thing. You have to be open to that. And sometimes your children will ask you, teacher, am I correct?
Yes.
What will you say? Is it everything correct? Or everything not correct? Or nothing's wrong? It's all good? Yes. Thank you. Anything more?
Ada lagi mungkin ketika anak bertanya, ini benar atau salah, begitu ya? Apa respon Bapak Ibu ketika anak bertanya seperti itu setelah selesai mengerjakan tugas? Silahkan.
Yeah.
Ya, gimana Bapak Ibu? Biasanya kalau ada yang nanya, Bu ini salah nggak? Bu ini bener nggak? Gitu. Oh, oke.
So I have experience about that. So when the students ask whether it's correct or not, when we know that it's correct, then we say correct, then give them the appraisal that needed. But if it's not correct, then we can say almost. So then we don't actually really make them feel bad because they make mistake. So that's my experience.
Okay, thank you.
Ada lagi Bapak Ibu yang punya respon?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Maybe my answer is about let's check the picture together. Is it right or not? And then compare your triangle with the real triangle.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
That's where the observer comes in. The observer is very important because they can do the checking. They can point out where we need a correction or where it's correct in the first place. So by the time the teacher comes, there is more chance of it being exactly what the teacher is looking for. So they can demonstrate their knowledge.
So notice that, like just now when Jeffrey and Rini was saying giving their response, I didn't say whether they are correct or not. I just say, thank you, what do you think? Ask more people to think. So I think we want to have the thinking, develop the thinking in our children. So, the Merdeka Belajar, right? We want them to think. We want them to be confident. So you can ask them, how do you know you're correct or not? How can you check? What ways can you check your answer? so that they can become confident in themselves as learners. They don't just depend on the teacher to tell them whether they are right or wrong.
Oke, iya.
I don't know. Need translation?
Iya, baik Bapak dan Ibu, seperti yang Dr. Hazel sampaikan bahwa katanya apa yang Dr. Hazel sampaikan tadi ketika bertanya begitu tidak menyampaikan mana yang benar dan mana yang salah, begitu, tapi menyampaikan terima kasih begitu dan bertanya lebih lanjut untuk apa? Untuk mengajak anak berpikir lebih jauh juga begitu. Tadi Dr. Hazel menyampaikan tentang merdeka belajar begitu ya. Jadi memang mengajak anak untuk bisa berpikir dan berkembang dalam apa yang dia pikirkan ketika menyelesaikan suatu tugas daripada membuat benar dan salah gitu. Karena bagaimana kita mengecek imajinasi salah dan benarnya anak-anak begitu.
Thank you. Yep. And I think it's also good to let a few children or show their answers to the class so they can compare. Like just now you saw Jeffrey's example and maybe you see other people's example, then you say, okay, go back to your example. How can you improve on your coding? Maybe is there any other ways to improve on your coding to make it more interesting or fancy, more steps or less steps, so it create their own challenge. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's what I want to say. For this activity, yes.
Thank you. Such a great exercise. I'm just wondering, as we are doing this workshop, when we are doing the coding, the instruction for the children, how can we make, what kind of approach do we have to use? Are we like making sure that the activities are developmentally appropriate, even though the term developmentally appropriate, I think, is also a contested term, or should we use these activities as an opportunity to sort of like challenges the student to go beyond their abilities?
Iya, jadi pertanyaan Prof ini adalah pendekatan seperti apa sebetulnya yang tepat untuk mengajarkan anak-anak dari workshop yang seperti ini. Kadang-kadang bisa jadi konsep-konsep tersebut juga belum dikenal oleh anak begitu ya, sehingga memang ini menjadi sebuah kegiatan buat anak adalah kegiatan yang baru juga begitu ya. Nah, apakah ini menjadi sebuah kesempatan begitu ya untuk anak-anak melihat keterampilan mereka juga gitu atau kemampuan mereka?
I would start with looking at something that is developmentally appropriate. I would say, do my robots know what a triangle is? I think they do. And if I haven't taught them triangles or they're not using the triangle, I might just use my left and right because I know they know left and right. Once they understand the game, I can then say, okay, do you know forward, backward? And they go, oh, too hard. No. Left, right, backward, forward. And so you start simple and then start to build. I do that with this activity. I would do it with all activities. So we started very simple with Hazel. I gave you the challenge because I thought you knew what a triangle was, yeah? And then I challenged Jeffrey and his group even more because Jeffrey knew where the treasure was. He had to correct.
Ya, jadi Profesor Jillian mengatakan bahwa ketika kita melakukan pendekatan ke anak, mulailah dari sesuai dengan tahapan perkembangan anak, sesuai dengan pengetahuan yang anak punya gitu. Kita bisa memulai dari hal yang sangat sederhana dengan mengenalkan kanan dan kiri atau depan, belakang begitu ya. Ketika memang anak masih belum mengenal konsep-konsep yang lebih tinggi dari hal tersebut begitu. Setelah itu mungkin kita bisa ngecek tadi seperti Prof Jillian bilang begitu ya. Ketika berputar 360 derajat anak tidak ngerti, mungkin disampaikan kanan, kiri, depan, belakang, sehingga memang instruksinya sesuai dengan karakter dan perkembangan anak saat itu.
Yes. Okay. So just to add on as well, because, like we thought, what the angle is, like 90 degrees and 45 degrees. But of course, if your children are very young, maybe it is not, just say turn left. And then they can say turn left a bit more. or a bit less. So then it is okay because they are learning the words a bit more, a bit less, you know.
Ya, jadi kata Dr. Hazel menyampaikan bahwa ketika memang anak belum paham terkait dengan putar ke kanan 90 derajat begitu ya, bisa bilang berputar lebih banyak, berputar lebih sedikit. Jadi menggunakan konsep banyak dan sedikit atau besar atau kecil begitu. Because Dr. Hazel and Professor Julian, there is some teachers ask me, how if the students not understand the concept of degree, and we said, could you please rotate to 95 degrees? How could I know? And that is the question from the teachers when they do the workshop.
So that is developmentally appropriate. They know more, they know less. Turn from this size. If you've got children this size, upper elementary, they're 11, 12 years old, get them to write down their steps. They have their computer code. This is mine. I'm going to give it to your group. And you have to tell me what shape did we program the computer. Now, if another group can do it, you know their coding is correct. So you can do coding without robots. You are the robots. You don't need gadgets to do STEM.
Oke, jadi katanya Profesor Julian, ketika untuk anak-anak yang mungkin lebih usianya lebih besar begitu ya, anak-anak SD kelas 4-5 yang usianya 11-12 tahun, bisa diinstruksikan untuk menuliskan langkah-langkah tersebut setahap demi setahap begitu. Kemudian dalam berkelompok mereka bisa bertukar konsep tersebut begitu ya, kode-kode tersebut, dan membiarkan mereka mencoba instruksi tersebut selangkah demi selangkah. Ketika ditukarkan kode tersebut menghasilkan segitiga yang dimaksudkan, maka instruksi tersebut sudah benar, kode tersebut sudah benar, dan itu bisa dilakukan juga dalam konsep komputerisasi. Profesor Julian menyampaikan bahwa tidak perlu robot atau teknologi tinggi begitu ya untuk mengajarkan STEM pada anak-anak. Gitu. Oke, that's done.
Okay. We are going to do a different activity now. Okay. This activity has, at the end of it, assessment. So it gets harder. We've done the developmental bit. We're now giving you a challenge. Everybody will need something to write with and something to write on. So if you have an iPad and you're good with writing on an iPad with a stylus or pencil and paper, whatever technology you have, something to write with, something to write on. Has everyone got that? Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I don't mean the literacy.
Yeah. I also noticed that one. Okay, jadi tadi Profesor Julian tidak langsung menyebutkan alat tulis ya, menyebutkan write in and write on, alat untuk menulis dan alat untuk mungkin menerima hasil tulisan tersebut begitu ya, bisa kertas, bisa mungkin iPad begitu, bisa pulpen atau mungkin dalam pensil iPad itu tersebut begitu. Itu adalah salah satu proses literasi juga begitu.
Okay, I want you to imagine a child in your classroom. Pick one child.
Silahkan membayangkan kelas Bapak Ibu semua dan pilih satu orang anak.
Or for our student teachers, if you haven't been in a school, imagine a child. Okay.
Untuk yang belum jadi guru gitu ya, silahkan imajinasikan saja memilih satu orang anak.
Now this is hard. You have to become that child. You are now that child.
Ya. Sekarang ibu-ibu akan menjadi anaknya begitu ya, mengimajinasikan tersebut.
Okay? Good. You give the child the instruction to draw a simple flower, their favorite flower that they are going to make. So in engineering, they draw a plan, then they create. Draw, create.
Jadi silahkan untuk menggambar sebuah bunga begitu ya. Dalam engineering katanya dalam teknik itu memang konsepnya adalah draw dan create begitu ya, menggambar kemudian membuat.
Okay, so the child is going to draw the flower, their favorite flower, any flower, and you tell them you're going to create it.
Jadi silakan menggambarkan bunga, favorit bunga anak tersebut, begitu ya, punya favorit apa bunganya, dan akan membuat bunga itu.
Most children will want to create now.
Kebanyakan anak-anak pasti ingin membuat itu sekarang juga.
We've got a keen child over there. Yeah. Please wait. You must draw first. But why? Why delay the creativity?
Nah, kenapa kita harus melakukan delay kreativitas tersebut?
It's because in STEM and STEAM, when you get the student to draw something, even if they're 5 and their drawing is very basic, they are showing you what they imagine. So the drawing is the window into their creativity.
Jadi katanya dalam STEM dan juga STEAM begitu ya, kenapa harus digambar terlebih dahulu? Karena gambar merupakan jendela dari imajinasi atau hal yang diimajinasikan oleh anak tersebut. Sehingga memang proses menggambar itu penting karena kita bisa tahu imajinasi apa sebetulnya yang ada di dalam pikiran anak tersebut.
So thank you. We want you to draw the flower now. We will come around and give you the Play-Doh that you can share the colors. Then you can create your flower. But the flower must be standing up. It must be vertical. Yeah? Beautiful flower? My mum said so. Standing up flower, not lying down. Okay? Has to be vertical, not horizontal.
Ya, jadi silahkan untuk menggambar bunga favorit, begitu ya. Kemudian nanti Profesor Julian, Dr. Han, and also assistant teacher akan berkeliling begitu melihat gambar-gambar yang dibuat. Sambil juga memberikan kesempatan untuk membuat bunga tersebut dengan Play-Doh yang ada, namun membuat Play-Doh-nya dalam bentuk vertikal atau berdiri begitu ya, tidak dalam bentuk horizontal atau tertidur.
I have an example here. It's not wrong. It's not right. It's an example. Please extend my artist, my designer, because I would like him to put on. Okay. I'd like him to put on maybe some ideas, some labels to make it scientific, or some construction ideas to make it into a construction plan. If I'm doing science, I want scientific labels. If I'm doing art, if I'm going to construct it, what construction design ideas could the child give? Draw. And the Play-Doh. To the people online, if you would like to draw your flower, that would be wonderful as well. And you can compare your flower with some people's in the audience later.
Silakan Bapak Ibu yang join secara online untuk juga turut serta membuat gambar sebuah bunga. Nanti kita bisa bandingkan apa yang digambar Bapak Ibu secara online dan juga apa yang kita lakukan di sini. Professor Julian, there is some question from the online. If there is some boy in the classroom who are not willing to draw flower because they don't want to because they are a boy, but they still want to draw a car, what would you say? A car.
A car? How can we improve our garden with a car? Would you draw a tomato flower? A vegetable flower? Would you draw a tree to shade our garden? So we give him some options, but maybe we keep it still with our botany.
Ya, silakan memberikan opsi-opsi Bapak Ibu begitu ya. Tidak perlu membuat sebuah bunga, tapi mungkin bisa ditawarkan membuat sebuah pohon begitu ya, atau hal yang lainnya karena memang ada konsep yang ingin diajarkan juga pada saat pembelajaran berlangsung.
Anywhere, anytime. There is a lot of Play-Doh. If you want a different color, go and take some from another group, but be polite. If you want more room, you can go and sit on the carpet. Do not put Play-Doh on the carpet. I will get into trouble from Simeo. Oh, look what Hazel has. Hazel has some construction sticks. If you want a challenge, come and look. Make sure you have your drawing and you're doing your creation. Drawing first.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some photos. Yeah, no, different colors. Yeah, different colors. Yeah, okay. Pass it around. Pass it around to different people. You can pass it around. Pass it around, and if it's too much, you can pass it because it's quite long. So you can pass it. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, it's quite discreet. Yeah, yeah, you can use the mats to
Oh, it's all so quiet. Everybody is working very, very hard. Everybody is engaged. You don't need me. As I was walking and looking at the flowers, I'm thinking, where in the curriculum could this go? This activity, where in the curriculum? And I'm thinking, what about Independence Day in August? Is there a national flower or is there a flower local to this area that we could use? We could all draw the flower and create the flower for Independence Day. I could also use it for science, for botany. 5 more minutes. 5. 5 more minutes to complete your flower. Tell everybody 2 minutes.
Bapak Ibu, waktunya 2 menit lagi. Yes. Oke. Untuk waktunya 2 menit lagi ya, Bapak Ibu.
Can I interrupt everybody now? Because we are running out of time. I would like you all to have a very close look at your flower that you created and the drawing where you designed your flower. Look at your drawing and your flower. Look at them together. Look at your drawing and look at your flower. Where's your drawing? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah. The leaves. Whoop. Ah. Needs water. Ding. Okay. Does your flower look similar to your design? Oh no, what happened? No? Orange is close to a tulip, but it's good. It's good, honey. Excellent. Try. Wasn't happy. Apply again. So it's learning from where one they want to success. Okay. Everybody, I have an example. I know it's hard to see, but on the notepad, you have a very tiny tulip, my favorite flower. It's from my heritage. Very tiny tulip. Very interesting. Tried to make the tulip. Made maybe the green one. Wasn't happy. So stopped, corrected, and made a very successful orange tulip. That is STEM. Learning from where you think you went wrong. Learning from your failure to have success. Not the teacher telling you failure, you deciding you had failure.
Oke, jadi tadi katanya Profesor Jillian mendapatkan sebuah contoh begitu ya. Ada ibu yang menggambarkan sebuah tulip. Nah, tulip ini bunga favoritnya Prof Jillian katanya. Menggambarkan sebuah tulip begitu ya. Kemudian tulipnya dibuatlah yang warna hijau pertama kali. Ketika membuat yang warna hijau itu, ibu tersebut merasa kurang happy begitu ya, ngerasa ini salah, gagal begitu. Kemudian buatlah yang warna orange-nya. Gitu, dan dia merasa yang warna orange itu yang berhasil gitu ya, tulip yang diharapkan. Profesor Julian mengatakan bahwa dalam STEM pembelajaran itu dari dia menanggap gitu ya, atau merasa bahwa oh saya salah nih, saya gagal gitu, itu muncul dari dirinya begitu ya. Kemudian dia membuat untuk mengkoreksi apa yang dianggap kurang berhasil atau belum berhasil. Nah, dari situlah proses pembelajaran terjadi.
Thank you. Does anybody have, oh, yeah.
Yeah, applause for that one.
Furniture is a problem. Does anybody have a design that looks very similar to their flower? The design is the same. Who?
Adakah yang gambarnya sama persis dengan apa yang dibuat? Boleh mengacungkan tangan? Bapak Ibu? Oh, that's nice. Over there with the laptop one.
Yes, we have a laptop one.
Yeah.
Could you bring your laptop,
Could you please bring your laptop over here? Mr. Iwan as well.
Oh, yes, Mr. Iwan, yours too. So can you show the people online for the camera? If possible. Mr. Iwan, can you share yours for the people online?
Pak Iwan.
They'll see it on the video, yeah. And I have an example here. This is interesting. Yeah, you hold, because I need to juggle. We have the drawing. We can put the flower on top of the drawing to show the measurement, and the size is very similar. It's lying flat, horizontal. It won't stand up on its own, but when it's on the paper, it can be vertical. So the design is correct. The materials are the problem, not the student in not making it stand up. The student is not wrong. The materials are the problem. And that's again encouraging the student. Horizontal, vertical, with the assistance of a different tool. Very creative. Very good. Yeah. Okay, did you see any interesting ones, Hazel?
Pretty interesting. But like quite a lot of photos. I can't decide. So maybe we'll have to look at everybody's flowers again. Do you think we should look at everybody's flowers again? Yeah.
Yes, everybody. Please put your flowers over on the carpet very gently so we can make a carpet of flowers.
Make a garden of flowers.
Oke, silakan Bapak Ibu untuk menaruh bunganya di sebelah sini. Kita akan membuat garden of flower on the carpet. Silahkan, baik itu bisa berdiri ataupun tidak bisa berdiri, silahkan disimpan saja. Bapak dan Ibu tolong diingat ya bunganya yang mana. Please remember which one is yours. Dan hati-hati ya.
Thank you for sharing your flower. Thank you. Where's my tulips? Thank you for sharing. How is my garden? Is my garden growing and growing? Put your flower in and step back to let somebody else put their flower in. Trying to find my computer now.
Silakan Bapak dan Ibu, kalaupun nanti bunganya tidak bisa berdiri juga nggak apa-apa.
I see.
Apakah semuanya sudah menyimpan bunganya, Bapak dan Ibu? Baik.
Yeah.
I think the garden almost ready.
The garden looks beautiful. Thank you. Doing this sort of activity will help develop sustainability knowledge. We can have flowers, we could have vegetables, we could have trees. We could have cars. We could have anything that is relevant to the children in your neighborhood, in your classrooms. And that's the important thing with STEM. Make it relevant. Oh, look, this is very clever. Thank you, Mr. Ewan's doing this now. Thank you. So people are getting to see what's happening online. Okay. We're in the last few minutes of our workshop this morning. We have to ask if you have any questions. And for questions online, we'll start with you, sir. Can you come up? We'll get a microphone to you. Excellent. Thank you. Oh, you might have to stay here and help with the translation. Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity. I've been thinking about this when a student makes something and it doesn't look really good, it doesn't really meet the criteria, and then they ask us, is this right, teacher? Is this right, miss? Is this right, mister? And then in one side, we don't want to let them down. In the other side, it's not right. It's let's say it's wrong, and then we can ask back to them. We can question them. What do you think? But in the reality, if we are working in the STEM field work as an engineer, we will have a contractor, right? And in the reality, once we are not meeting the criteria, we won't be asked, what do you think about the bridge you made, the design you made? I think it's good. Maybe we can say, oh, I think I made a good design. But what about the contractor? I think there is some point that student needs to see the reality too. When is the best time to let the student meet the reality? Because of course this course is about the young, the youth, but at some point they need to meet the reality. Yeah, thank you.
I think a student will accept reality and know that their design won't work, that they haven't met the criteria, when they have your trust as the teacher to be told that. So at the beginning of the year, in July, August, when you start with a new class of teacher, July, have the criteria so that it is achievable. Develop that relationship with the child, and then over months, you can be speaking with the child saying, we have a problem. You're not listening, or are my instructions not clear? But it is so dangerous for a child's confidence for the teacher to tell them it's not good enough if they're telling them too soon. You must have that trust and you must be working with the child. Because if you're an engineer doing a bridge, your design is changed so many times before it is built. We only do an activity once. And so it's not fair to be judging the child on that once. So give the child more opportunities. Have the criteria that it includes the attitude of the child to keep trying, to make the correction, to recognize the failure and start again. And if that's your criteria, that child is succeeding because they are a child, not the adult with the university degree, knowing they've got a contractor who can be disappointed. No, that was a long translation.
Okay. Okay. Sure, Prof. It's okay. So, jadi pertanyaannya adalah ketika anak buat sebuah contohnya tadi adalah menggambar sebuah jembatan, begitu ya. Tentunya ketika jembatan itu akan dibangun, anak tersebut harus tahu bagaimana jembatan itu bisa dibangun dengan benar. Karena jembatan itu kan nanti akan menjadi sebuah building, begitu ya. Ada sebuah gedung atau bangunan tertentu. Dan akan diaplikasikan oleh kontraktor dalam pembangunan. Memang betul ketika dalam pembelajaran, tadi Bapaknya menyampaikan bahwa kita nggak bisa langsung bilang bahwa salah atau benar, begitu. Namun pada titik tertentu, anak harus disampaikan, anak harus tahu kapan dia benar dan salah, begitu. Nah, bagaimana caranya menyampaikan hal tersebut, begitu. Tadi Prof. Jillian menyampaikan anak itu harus diberikan kesempatan dan kepercayaan untuk mengulang, begitu ya, dan belajar dengan prosesnya, gitu. Mungkin anak punya kesempatan 1 kali, 2 kali, 3 kali, dan seterusnya. Dalam awal pembelajaran, kita harus menentukan dulu capaian belajar anak itu apa yang mau dicapai, begitu. Termasuk dalam bagaimana dia menyikapi sebuah kegagalan atau kesalahan dalam pembelajaran yang mau kita capai dalam pembelajaran. Nah, kita harus memberikan kesempatan dulu kepada anak, entah 1 bulan atau berapa bulan, begitu ya, dari dia melakukan kesalahan tersebut. Jika memang itu terus terulang, maka baru kita bisa melakukan suatu tindakan tertentu kepada anak tersebut. Begitu. Nah, proses itulah yang perlu dilakukan dalam pembelajaran, memberikan kepercayaan kepada anak, begitu ya, dalam belajar dan melihat bagaimana bahwa kesalahan yang dia lakukan dan memperbaiki hal tersebut. Itu mungkin yang bisa saya sampaikan.
I'm a child and I'm not succeeding in my STEM or my engineering. If I trust my teacher, that's okay, I don't succeed. Because I'm going to be the businessman. I like my numbers. I like my science. I love my creative writing. I'm going to be a journalist. I'm one person. I can't be good at everything. But the teacher has to have the confidence from the child to tell that story with the child and not saying wrong.
Jadi bisa jadi anak itu punya interest yang berbeda-beda, begitu ya. Bisa jadi tadi dia lebih senang menulis atau dia ingin menjadi bisnismen dan seterusnya dan seterusnya. Ada kepercayaan diri itu dan rasa yang dibangun antara guru dan anak itu perlu disampaikan, gitu ya, perlu dibangun juga. Tidak bisa langsung bilang ini salah, ini benar, begitu.
Would you ask to add something?
Okay, I can add as well. So, yeah, I think teaching is, building that relationship with your students. So like what Gillian says, you need to have a safe environment in your classroom that your children feel safe, that they can try different things and they are not hurt by things, So I think that is one thing, and build the relationship needs time. So that is, you need to work with your children to make that work. Another thing is also get your children to explain because you want to see their thinking. Because do they know if you see that maybe, just now we talk about the freestanding flower, maybe we can get the child to explain what they do. So maybe the child knows they try different things already. Maybe you can encourage and say, do you know what freestanding means? Maybe it's a literacy, what did you try? maybe you can look at other people. Maybe they know that it cannot stand, but they try different things. Oh, have you thought about this? Maybe you can talk to other child and look at other examples. Try different things, encourage them. So you have to find out what is where the child is at, and then try and support them to go the next step. I think that is.
Ya, baik. Jadi membangun relasi dengan anak itu sangat penting dan kita tahu juga begitu ya bagaimana karakteristik anak-anak itu gitu ya memulainya begitu dan kita membantu bagaimana atau memfasilitasi anak tersebut dalam perkembangannya step by step begitu sehingga sampai anak tersebut mencapai pada kriteria atau perkembangan anak dalam pemahaman itunya sendiri. Ada lagi? Ada lagi pertanyaan? Sure, please.
Thank you. My name is Abdi, and my question is how we can connect in our STEM classroom with other subject areas in home, so the parents could be included in this STEM program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parents. Okay, so I will always sort of throw the idea back to the gurus. First of all, this is one of the things like when your child asks you some question, sometimes you want to ask them back the question to say, do you have any ideas? So, connection, let's use this example of the flowers. What do you think your child can do to connect with the parents, with the home? With flowers, let's say, or plants. Planting together the flowers, asking, okay, what plants do you have at home? Any flowers? Yeah? Any other ideas? What about your, I don't know, mother's favorite flower or your parents' favorite flower, your siblings' favorite flower? Find out different flowers, create different things. Connect with different things, I think. What about STEM?
I'm following on from the idea of the gentleman with his previous question with a contractor. Perhaps the parent can become the contractor. The parent works in the flower shop. What kind of flowers do you want for your shop? What colors should we be growing? And so you make the parent the contractor. That might also stop the parent doing the child's homework if you have that problem like we do. You have a project, the parent does the project and not the child. Make the parent the contractor. And so they have to see, excuse me, what the child does to the parent's satisfaction. Yeah. You might want to explain that one. I think that's okay.
I'm also thinking about, like the child making the flowers for their parents. Like Mother's Day. I don't know whether, or to thank their parents, on for some special occasion or something. Then you can actually make it for their parents, and it's appreciation. Yeah, and then they can put the design there. They can add extra things, Thank you for, all the support that you have given me. So it's a freestanding flower that has the support, or, or it could be the leaf that holds out or something. I mean, it's the creativity. So they can think of different things to show the appreciation. Yeah.
We have time for only one more question. We'll take that question from online.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
we have
sure.
one?
Yeah, I have one question.
Oh,
It's interesting question from online. So, how can we educators make the most out of local cultures, especially in maintenance activities, and ensure children are building skill across all STEM or STEAM disciplines? Local context.
How can we use the local context as educators?
Yes.
I think that comes from knowing your children, knowing they are interested in the environment, in dinosaurs, in volcano craters, in cars, in IT. So know what they're interested in, because that will help their engagement. And then you find it around. So we could look, where is the IT that we can see? How can we design it better? It might be the screen, it might be the camera,
The
It's
microphone.
the electricity wires. No IT without electricity. No communication. And that opens up the world, immediate world, to the child. Because they have to look, they have to study, and then they have to realize, no electricity, no IT. New respect for electricity.
Ya, jadi dalam melakukan local context, begitu kita melihat dulu begitu ya bagaimana anak kita juga interestnya. Kemudian kita mengenali lingkungan kita sendiri dulu. Apa yang ada di lingkungan kita. Misalkan kita mengenalkan IT, kita lihat dulu lingkungan kita ini ada apa, begitu ya. Bisa jadi kabel-kabel di luar sana, begitu ya, kamera di sini atau mikrofon di sini untuk meningkatkan rasa tertarik anak gitu terhadap pembelajaran yang ada di sekitar anak tersebut. Begitu. So I think this is the answer, Prof. Jillian, for the question. Would you like to add something, Dr. Hazel?
Okay, this is just my thinking and the creative part about design, because I noticed that, you know how when we wear the mask, right? And then if you have the headdress and it covers the ears, so how do you actually get around this? Because this is always in the design, in STEM thinking, sometimes we always think about, is there a issue or problem that you want to overcome, you know? So I think this is a thing that is like a problem, you know? So, but people turn it into like a design, because I noticed that quite a lot of you with the mask, you actually have a nice design to match your headdress, or you have other things, you know, so it's a special, like it turns a fashion statement and so on. So there is a design, there is a creativity there. You try and overcome the problem, you make something, and then there is a beautiful design, and everybody has a different sort of like the design thinking. So you can say, okay, create some design, may not only be for girls, it can also be for boys with different, you know, design of the mask, maybe not just the, you know, for the ears. Yeah. Because sometimes it's very hard to take out, and then where do you put your mask? Maybe that is also another problem, you know, where do you actually put your mask when you take it out, you know, for things. Okay, I'll challenge you all to think about it. Maybe you can tell us, I think yeah.
Now over time.
Yeah, I think we have to end the session.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Statement. If you want to keep your flower,
Yeah.
you are welcome to take your flower away with you.
Yes.
'Cause we don't want the Play-Doh in our suitcase. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor and John, Dr. Hazel. Please give them a round of applause for today's session.
Very big thank you.
Thank you to you too for to access this. Thank you.
Yes. And to you too,
Sure.
for moderating.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. For coming.
Thank you to everyone online.
Yes.
Yeah.
For logging in.
Yeah, and
Thank
hi,
you.
Dee Dee, if you're still there.
There are still about 100% join today's. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, all participants, both online and offline, and Professor Julian and also Dr. Hazel. It's very interesting, excellent workshops today. We learned a lot from the experience. Now, like we have some workshop. I believe that all teachers here, when they going back to the classroom, they have inspiration to their practice, in learning practice. I believe that one. So thank you so much. Before we end up the session, I believe that I'd like to invite Dr. Reza Setiawan to give a certificate to Professor Jillian and also Dr. Hazel. Mr. Reza Setiawan is a Deputy Director Program from Siameo Kitabs and Science. Oh, we have our souvenir here.
Oh, that's a very good. Wow, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reza. Thank you so much. Once again, please give a big round of applause for Professor Julian and Dr. Hazel. Would you like to say something?
And thank you so much to CMEO organization. They're a wonderful, wonderful group. We've been working with CMEO for maybe 5 years now. And it is
How we can
inspirational.
extend this with
It's inspirational to be able to come here for a first time, but 5 years with CMEO. So thank you very much, CMEO.
Thank you so much. Okay, once again, thank you for joining today's activity. I'll pass the forum to the MC again. Fatima, undur diri. Terima kasih banyak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you so much for these two great speakers. Okay, so before I close, I would like to give the certificate information for offline participants. Bapak dan Ibu bisa mengambil sertifikat di meja registrasi di depan. And for the online participant who joined via Zoom and YouTube, the certificate will be available to download in 7 working days. Just make sure you fill the attendance list. Please check the chat box to find the link. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of public lecture on STEM for early education and basic education. On behalf of SIKIS and CMEO CSEP, we would like to thank you for your participation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you on the next event. Okay, so for offline participant, we will have photo group session, but the picture will be taken from upstairs. So, yes. Yeah. So please stand on. Yes. Bapak dan Ibu mohon bisa berdiri di tempatnya masing-masing.